So in last lecture, we have discussed about the priority queue. Okay. Now we till now we have a more than two types of queue. First, linear queue. Second, that is our circular queue. Third, that is DQ, priority queue, and now we have a multiple queues. Okay, now what is the meaning of multiple queue? So, as we have discussed at the time of stack implementation, we have one concept with multiple stacks in a single array, right? So same like this, we have over here we have the same approach that one array can store multiple queues either in both the direction, that you can start storing and deleting from you can say front to the some point, and second, that is from last position to the some points, right? So from QA and QB, right? So QA first position or front is going to pointing at the zeroth location, and rear is going to pointing at the third location. Here in the QB, my you can say the front is going to be pointed at the n minus 1, and rear is going to be pointed at the n minus 4, right? So something like this. And if you want to do some kind of position wise, that from left to right I can insert, so you can say b of 0, e of 0, both can store starting from left to the right. Okay. Now, what are the applications of my queue? So you can say that queue used as a waiting list for a single shared resources like printer, disk, CPU, etc. Okay, as we have discussed the printer question in last session, that whenever we have one a printer, and if I want to print 10 documents from my system, what we are doing, we are just giving the printing of every you can say document, but turn by turn, as I have given the printing process, so turn by turn it is going to be stored into the queue. So if my first word file is going to be printed, then afterwards my next is word file number 2, which I have given as the printing process. Same in the CPU, we have you can say the event, or we have some processes in our CPU that I'm playing the song, as well as I am just writing the code. Then third, I just want to search something in the Chrome, right? As well as I'm putting something in a copy format, that it is continuing copying from one folder to the another folder, right? Something downloading process is there. So many processes we are doing at the same time, right? But how it is going to be worked in your CPU, how it is going to be stored into your disk, this is based upon the queue. Now it's used as a buffer on MP3 player, iPod playlist, right? So we are putting it in the queue, and one by one we can play the songs. Now it used in operating system for handling the interrupts, right? Right. Now what is interrupts? That means I am doing some process, at the same time someone is coming and interrupting my process, right? That a small example you can say, when my program is compiling, right, it is successfully compiling till 50th line, but when it is coming towards the 51 number line, error is coming and my program is interrupted. Or else you can say that some corrupted process is there, and it is pop up something like your disk is not working properly. So this is one kind of interrupt. Okay, so interrupt, that means they try to stop your right now ongoing process, and some higher priority processes are coming and can interrupt your running process. Okay, so that are the applications of my queue. Okay, so we are concluding our queue over here. So till now we have already discussed the array concept, stack concept, queue concept, and now we are coming towards the linked list. Okay. Now, for every, either you can say a stack or a queue, we have two types of opinion, sorry, representation with us to implement or to represent your stack as well as the queue. One that is array, second that is linked list. Okay? That means if you want to implement your stack, you have two choices. Either you can implement your stack using array, or you have a second option that is linked list. Okay, so if you are using linked list, what is the problem over here? That you are not aware with linked list at that time when we are doing the stack implementation, right? So that's why we are following the array implementation first, and now we are coming towards the linked list implementation. Okay, so what are the basic requirements of your linked list? Okay, that means how it is going to be work. As a small overview, we have already discussed, that is at the time of first chapter, right? It is having you can say a node representation, which can consist of two parts. One node consists two parts. One can store the data and another can store the address of your next node. Okay, that are the representation of my linked list. Okay, now the introduction, that it consisting of a group of nodes which together represent a sequence, right? Whenever we don't have a continuous memory location, and if I want to store my data either in any of the available spaces, we can use linked list concept over there. Okay, now under the simplest form, each node is composed of a data and a reference. In other words, you can say a link to the next node in the sequence. Okay, now this structure allows for efficient insertion or removal of elements from any position in the sequence. Okay, either you want to insert at the third position, delete from the second, whatever the position you want to insert and delete, you can do this. This is also one type of, you can say, that data storing structure, right? Your data may be storing like in this manner also. Okay, so here is the representation of your linked list. So a linked list whose nodes contain two fields, an integer value and a link to the next node. The last node is a link to a terminal or null pointer, used to signify the end of the list. Now, what are the advantages and what are the disadvantages? Then we will move towards the actual representation, right? Right now, advantages are provides a quick insert and a delete operation. Disadvantage, slow search operation as well as requires a more memory space. Okay, now let me share my screen. Whiteboard. Okay, I think my screen is visible. Yes. Yes. Is my screen visible? Okay. Now, as you are aware, that if I am saying that linked list concept, that means something like this. This is known as one node. Okay. Now, node consists of two parts. First part, which is known as a data part, and second part, that is this part is known as address or a link part. Okay. Now, now, what is data part and what is link part? Now, if you have, if you want to store hi in the node, okay, how can you store? So if you want to store hi in the array, you have something like 0 and 1 index. You can store h and I, the array name a of 2. Something like this, continuous memory location, right? But here in the linked list, how can you store? So first for the h, I have one node. For the I have another node, right? This is one node, this is another node, okay, and linked with next node. Okay, that means what? I'm linking my first node with the second node. I'm giving the connection from first node to the second. First node contains this as a data part. Here see, this is containing the data part. Now here, what are the data parts with me? So H and I. So H and I. Now what about this second portion? So second portion is used to store the address. Now this node is stored at the address number 201. Here the address is 301. Okay, so here in this address part, I can store 301. So after completion or after reading this H, where they need to go, they need to search the 301. I'm giving the location that 301, you need to go over here in the 301. Okay, now if I have one more node over here, so I can give the address of that node 490. So I can give 90 and go over that. Okay, so this is the process of linked list. Okay, now here in the memory, how it is going to be represented. Now here is my memory. Okay, I have something like this. Yes, now here you can say that you can store the data part. Here in this you can store the data part, and here you can store the next, that is your second portion of the node representation in the memory. Okay, something like this. Here this one is my data part and this one is my next part. Okay, now if I want to store hello in the node, okay, so first I'm storing the h over here. H. Okay, I'm giving the memory location 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, next I'm storing E over here. Okay, these are the occupied blocks. These are the unoccupied blocks, like occupied by other processes, right? So in that 2 and 4th memory location, these are my memory location, right? Okay, so if you want to store the data at that location, right now you cannot store. Why? Because they are the occupied by other resources. Now if I want to print this hello on the screen, can I print right now? No. Why? Because if I'm printing this H, I don't know where is my E. Where is the next portion? So next portion is available at the 3rd memory location. So I am giving the H with 3. So my node is something like this, H with 3. So it is going to search at that 3rd location, right? So where is my 3? So 3 and E. So here if I will give something like this. Okay, so E. So E is storing at the 3rd location. So 3rd location, E is available. Okay, now at which position my L is storing, which memory location I need to refer. So you can say at the 5th location your L is available. So fifth location my node is available. What is the data part? So data part is L. But where is my next L? So over here, check the memory location number 6. So 6, 6, 5, 2, over here. In the sixth memory location, my next L is available. It is the continuous process, but I don't have space in the right hand side. That's why I'm doing this kind of thing. Okay. Now, if I want to refer O, at which location my O is storing? So my data part never understand where my next data is stored. So go into the next portion of your node. So where is the your L part? So at the 7th number location. So 7, O, and 7. Now in O, my string is completed. There is no more elements in the string. So here I can say this is my null part. So I can say that this is the last number of my, or you can say the last data of my available string. Understood how it is going to be represented in the memory? So this is new concept. So you have to say either yes or no. Last one, Umang, that means you want to ask the question related with this null. Okay. So that means after completion of every string, I have one null pointer with us. Okay. But here in this situation, okay, I have something like this. A, B, and C. Here I am storing A. These nodes are, these memory space are occupied by other processes. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay. Suppose something like this. These are my memory locations. This is the data part. This is the next part. Okay. So if I will say that here the memory location is 1. Okay. So where my next part is going to be stored? So at the second number location. So you have to give the link to the next, that is 2 number node. Okay. Refer the second memory location to find the next data. Okay. Yes. So I am jumping over there. Now I am finding the B. But where my next data part is stored, so I am not aware with that. So here I have to give the memory location number 5. And now I am completing with my string. So there are no more elements in my string. Only ABC is there. Only ABC is there. Okay. So if I am giving one more memory location over here, that is, say for example 100. Right. So that means what? Jump to the 100 number location, and whatever the data over here, you can add it over here. But this is the wrong thing. Why? Because I have only ABC. So how can I find that this is the last element of my available string? So if the last location data part is always indicating with the null. Sorry, address part, not the data part. Okay. So for the representation using linked list, so last node every time having the null as a address part, so that we can identify that yes, here my string is completed. Why? Because I don't have any confirmation that if I have continuous memory location, then I can easily identify. Okay, this is singly linked list. Okay. Now, if I have memory location 200, 205, and 209, I have a data part A, B, and C. Now you have to give me the link of A. Okay, over here in this portion, what is the address of next node? You have to find. Okay, give me the address of next node over here. Yes, so you can say 205. Yes, so now I am building the connection between A and B. Now for the B next portion, what is the memory location I have to refer over here? If I want to give the link between B and C, I have to write 209. And what is the next portion of my C? This is the address part. This is the data part. This is the address part. Okay. So what is the address part of my 209 number node? Yes, very good. It is every time studying the null. So that I can verify that yes, now I don't have any connection. So here I can stop. Okay. Okay, so same thing over here. Memory representation. Yes, we have one start variable with us which can store that where to start. Okay, which can store the address of your first node. Start variable can store the address of your first node. Whenever I am saying the address, that means your pointer concept come over here, comes into the picture. So you can say that this one can store, this one is the memory location of your first node. Okay, so I am just storing the hello, HELL, and here we have O. Okay, so if I, after finding the H, if I want to store the E at the fourth location, why? Because 2 and 3 is occupied by other processes. Okay, so how can I check that where my next element is stored? So for that, what we have to do, we just need to give the address of next node. So E next node is at the 7th location. Jump to the 7th. Find your data, and where is my next node? So jump to your 8th memory location. Jump over here. Find your data, and where my next node is 10 number. Jump to your memory location. Find your next node data O, and jump to over there. Here is the -1. That means your null portion. Okay, so we have to stop over there. Okay, this is the traverser. I can say this is the traverser. So traverser, that means I am referring the data part of every node. Okay, I'm just visiting the data part of every node. Okay, so here the difference between your linked list and array. Okay, so the size of the array is fixed. So we must know the upper limit of the number of elements in advance. Here we can do the, or we can store the any number of elements. Now inserting a new element in an array of element is expensive because a room has to be created for the new element, and to create room existing elements have to shift A. Okay, so if you want to insert something, you have to shift the every elements within their allocated memory space. Now random access is not allowed in the array, so we have to access the elements sequentially starting from the first node. So we cannot do binary search with a linked list. Okay, now next, extra memory space for a pointer is required with each element of the list. Okay, So as we are aware with this can store the address of next node. So every time we have to take one variable for storing the data, another for the pointer, next for the data, another for the pointer, next for the data, another for the pointer. Okay, or to store the data of next address of the next node, right? So this is you can say the extra memory space required to store data as well as the address of next node. Okay, now how memory allocation is generated. So operating system bears the responsibility to change the status of the memory occupied to available and vice versa without intervention from user, right? So it can every time give you the status of available memory space and occupied memory space. Okay, so consider we have a pointer avail which stores the address of the first free address. Okay, so free pull avail will be useful to store a new values. Okay, so here in this we have one more new variable which is known as avail. Now what is the requirement for this avail? Now after storing hello, if I want to store a word, hello word, now how can I store, how can I find the available memory space? Now I want to before at that time, if I when I want to store that e in the memory, at that time this memory block is not available for me. That's why I have to store my e and l at the different locations, okay, which are the unoccupied by my other processes. Okay, but 2 and 3 are at that time they are occupied with other processes, but now these memory blocks are free. Okay, so what we can do, if I want to store a new variable over here, I can find that where my avail is going to be pointed. So avail is pointing at the second number location. So what we can do, after o, if I want to store w on the memory space, okay, so what we have to do, we just need to find the available memory space. So my avail is given me the free memory space pool, that 2, 5, 6, 3, 9, that are the available spaces. So first available space is over here at the second number location. So if you want to store, you can store over here. So my w is storing over here, but I must have to give the w memory address, that is 2, to my o address part. Okay, okay, so here if my avail is available and if I want to store w, what we have to do, I am just inserting my w over here, right? But at which location? 2 location. So now we have to give the 2 over here. So after reading this 0, or sorry, o, I must have to jump at the memory location 2 and find out the data part, that is w. Okay, now if you want to store one more element as x over here inside the memory block, what we have to do, we just need to find where my avail is going to be pointed. So now after completion or after inserting w, I have available memory space at the 3 location. So now next time my avail is going to be located at the 3rd position. Okay, now if you want to store x, so what you can do, you just need to store x as the data part. What is the memory location? 3. So I must have to give the link between w and x. So what I am doing, I'm giving the 3 over here and minus 1 over here, so that this one is the last. Okay, now afterward, if I want to store the w, now my avail is not available over here, my avail is pointing over here. Okay, this avail position is indicating or giving by the memory space, memory itself, right? So now my avail is locating at the 5th location. Now I want to store y. So what I can do, I am just storing the y over here. Now if I want to give the link between x and y, so what we have to do, we just need to change the data address part over here. What is the address of y? Refer the node number 5, sorry, address number 5. So next node is available over here, -1. Okay, so after hello, now I have W, X, and Y with me. Okay, so till now, any doubt in this? What is the memory location? Sorry, memory allocation. Okay, so here we have a singly linked list. Okay, this is also known as singly linked list. Okay, that means we have only one address part with us. Okay, we have only one address part with us. Okay, so simplest type of linked list in which every node contains data and one pointer, right? I can say that this is pointer. Why? Because only a pointer can point the next location or next address location. Okay, so that's why my pointer concept comes into the picture. Okay, a singly linked list allows traversal of data only in a one way, right? We cannot give the reverse address over here. I cannot give this kind of addresses over here. That if you want to refer the uh, next of previous to previous node, I am giving you the address. No, this node can only know the address of next node. This can only know the address of next node. This node can only store the address of next node. Okay, so we don't have any reverse address or any previous to previous address likewise, right? So we are just traversing in a one direction only, right? Now if I want to do the program for creating a node, how can I do? So for node, I can use the structure concept over here. So struct node, that means I am creating one structure likewise. Okay, inside this I have one integer data part. So here in this memory location I have data part. And next, that is struct node star next, that means structure type node, and I can store the address over here. So this is for the address purpose, or you can say this is for next variable which can store the address of next node. Okay, so now if you want to insert a new node, say for example this is my 11 number node, this is 11 number node, the address of this is 205. Okay, now if I want to create one more node to store the 22, so what we can do, just call or just write the struct node one more time. It can give you the one more structure for this. This is my structure having two portion. First portion for integer type of variable, that is data part, can store 22. Okay, and this address node address of this node is 210. मेमोरी लोकेशन कोई भी हो सकता है, क्योंकि कंटिन्यूअस नहीं अवेलेबल है, तो आप 210 पे भी रेफर कर सकते हो. तो instead of this next I can give 210, refer location number 210. So I am giving the connection from 205 to 210. So next value is available at this location. Okay, and here if I don't want to use, here is the null. Okay, now till this, any question related with this fundamentals of linked list? Okay, now first, the algorithm for traversing a linked list. Okay, traversal, that means I just want to visit the every node of my linked list which are available for me. Okay, but every time we have one start variable with us, which can store the starting address. So here I have one start variable with me, which can store the first node address, that is 205. Here, first, how you are going to write, you just need to going to write the algorithm. Okay, so we have a different types of cases with us, same like in array, in stack and queue, we have insertion, deletion, we have updation, we can change the value of the particular location, we can just print the entire queue, entire array. Likewise, here we have inserted the first, deleted the first, inserted the and, delete from the and, inserted the beginning, in between given node, delete from that position, insert after this node, delete before this node, insert before this node. So we have so many cases with us. So if you are not aware with the basic fundamentals, you cannot move forward with this algorithm. So if you have any query, you can ask me. Okay. Now algorithm for traversing a linked list. Okay. So if you want to traverse the entire linked list, that means starting from the first node to the last position, if you want to check the data or if you want to print the entire data. So first and foremost thing, set your PTR equals to start. Now what is the PTR? So you can say the PTR is the pointer which we can use to traverse my entire area, or you can say my entire linked list. Okay. So we have you can see one linked list with me. Okay, I have a memory address 10, 5, 12. Okay, here my data part is B, E, E. What is the address of the next part? That is 10. Here 12. And if C is last, this is null. Okay, I have one start variable. Right, this is my start variable. So what I am doing? So here in the PTR variable, I am giving the address of start. So you can say your start can store the file. Sorry, forget about this. Your start can store 5. Why? Because the first node address is always going to be stored into this start variable. Okay. Now, if I want to print this A, B, and C, what we have to do? We just need to print A, refer this 10, jump to that location. That means without my start variable, I can never get the address of my first node. Okay, so what we have to do, we just need to first find out the first address node. Yes, I'm finding that address. Okay, now I have to jump over here, jump next till my data part, my address of any node is not equal to null. I have to shift. Okay, I am just traversing, I am visiting. Yes, you are A, yes, you are B, yes, you are C. I'm just traversing every node. I'm just seeing that is there any data part or not. That is traversal. Starting from first to last node, I am doing something. Okay, either I want to print, either I want to visit, either I want to change or doing something. This is the traversal only. Okay, now starting, if I am starting with the start variable, if I am moving my start to this 5 number location, what is the problem over here? If I am moving over here, yes, I have a, yes, I'm printing a. Now, what is the thing? If I want to print the B, what we have to do? I need to refer this address. What is the address part of your A node? So this node address part is 10, right? So jump to 10 location. I can't jump, but what I am doing? I am jumping my start variable. So my start is now going to be pointing over here at the 10 number location. Okay, instead of 5, now my start is going to over here, that is 10 number location. Print your data part. So start data part. Now this node is known as a start name. I'm giving name as a start. Okay, so now my B is the data part of start. Okay, now if I want to print the next, what we have to do? Just check the address of start variable. The address of start variable is 12. So jump to that location. So I'm not jumping, but I'm moving my start. Yes, so my start is now going to be pointing at the 12th number location. Start pointing to the 12th number location. What is the data part of start? So C is the data part of start variable. And what is the address part of start variable? That is null. So yes, now ABC, that is the traverse. Okay, now next time, suppose if I want to, one more time, if I want to traverse, can I traverse? Yes, now starting from the first node, if I want to traverse, can I traverse the entire linked list one more time? See, now my start is not at this location, but my start is at the 12th number location. अब मुझे वापस से ए से लेके सी तक प्रिंट करना है, क्या मैं ट्रावर्सल कर सकती हूँ? पहले तो ये बताओ कि क्या मैं कभी फर्स्ट लोकेशन पे फिर से पहुंच सकती हूँ? बट क्रिश, मैं फर्स्ट एलिमेंट का एड्रेस कैसे फाइंड करूँ अगर मेरे पास स्टार्ट वेरिएबल ही नहीं है जो फर्स्ट लोकेशन पे नहीं? अब तो मेरे स्टार्ट में 12 एड्रेस आ गया है, क्योंकि स्टार्ट मैंने मूव कर दिया ना, मैंने 5 पे था, ठीक है, फिर 10 पे लाया, बी प्रिंट किया, फिर 12 पे लेके गई, सी प्रिंट किया, अब स्टार्ट मेरा 12 लोकेशन पे है। क्या मैं फिर से ए बी सी पे मूव कर सकती हूँ? नहीं। Why? Because now my start variable is start pointing at the last node. So that's why कभी भी अपने start variable को first position से move करवाना नहीं है। Okay, start is always pointing the first location or first node. No need to move that pointer from that position to the next. Otherwise, your first node is going to be lost. There is no connection between this and this. I can never get the first A if I will remove or if I will move my start variable. So what we can do, we can just take that start variable's address into one temporary node that is known as PT. Okay, so now what I am doing, so now my PTR equals to 5 as well as my start equals to 5. Okay, so what I am doing now, forget about this. Okay, I am one more time I am moving from first to the last. तो अब मैं क्या करूंगी, स्टार्ट वेरिएबल को कुछ नहीं करूंगी, उसे 5 की पोजीशन पे ही रहने दूंगी, but using my pointer I am moving towards the last. Okay, so first what we have to do, I'm just taking the address of start, whatever the value is storing into the start, I'm putting it into the one temporary variable named as PT. Okay, so now second step, you have to move you have to repeat step number 3 and 4 while your PTR is not equal to null. Okay, so PTR is always stored the address. Okay, now my PTR having two things. If I am giving the name over here, that is PTR. So now my PTR having two portion. First portion known as data part, second portion known as address part. Okay, understood? Yes or no? Why I am giving start PTR equals to start? Understood or not? Okay, okay, okay. So now my PTR having two parts. First is data part, second is address part. So A and 10. आपको मूव करना है जब तक PTR is not equal to null. Okay, so this PTR of data, just I'm printing that data. Whatever the data is in the PTR of PTR of data part, just print. So I am printing A. Now you have to set your PTR equals to PTR of next. So whatever the value is available in the PTR of next, so what is the PTR of next? So my PTR of next is 10. Okay, वो अब क्या बन जाएगा मेरा PTR. Okay, so now my PTR is going to pointing over here at the 10th number location, जो कि यहाँ पे दिया हुआ था. Okay, yes. So now what you have to do, repeat that step. Is my PTR of here? Now my PTR is over here. So is my PTR of next part is equals to null? No. So print your B on the screen and अब PTR कौन बन जाएगा? जो भी आपके next में data है. What is the address of your PTR of next? Address is 12. So jump at the 12th location और उसको नाम दे दो PTR. Okay, done. अब क्या होगा? PTR के डेटा पार्ट में क्या है? C. So just print that data and check. Is your PTR of next part is equal to null? Yes. So you have to stop over there and exit. So now I have A, B, C. Okay, done. Okay, so you can write your number over here for the attendance purpose. Okay, is there anyone who can't write the number? Okay, thank you, class. You may leave the session.